What's up, everybody? My name is KSaun. Welcome back to the Paldea Battle Academy. This is going to be week number 4, and I'm going to be honest, guys, this season has not started how I wanted it to. We are currently sitting at an 0-3 record. In a 9-week season, we are a third of the way through and have failed to pick up a win. It sucks. It's a bit rough. The top half of the teams in our division, there are 12 teams, top 6 make the playoffs. So realistically, we probably have to go 5-4. There's a very small chance that we could make it at 4-5. But regardless, what it means is that we need to start picking up some wins, and that starts with 1, which means this week we are really trying to pick up our first W. We are going up against none other than Mmuffinz and Mmuffinz Mudkips. They are also at this moment 0-3, so both of our teams pretty much backs against the wall. It is not over if we lose this week, but I think we can only afford one more loss in the season in general. So we've got our work cut out for us. It's been tough so far. Week number 1, we lost on timer, and honestly, it was a closer battle than it should have been. I got a lucky flinch throughout the battle, and it probably should have been a decisive loss for us. Week number 2, we lost, I think, mostly because I did not calc a +1 life orb battle bond Greninja, and I just lost my iron boulder for no reason. And week number 3, I think we lost because of a couple small misplays on my end, a couple of really good one very good double on the part of Ellie, and also just the fact that her team is absolutely wild. And this week, I'm hoping that I don't have an excuse or reason as to why we lost, because I'm hoping that we just win. Before we take a look at what Mmuffinz has on the team, we used up the last bit of transaction points that we have for our roster. I've made some small changes each week. These are the final changes that we're making. I can't make any more changes, but honestly, I think this had to be done. Unfortunately, I loved the Ogre Pond Cornerstone. I wanted it to work so badly this season, but I just haven't gotten it to work. And honestly, the one mon that has been a staple and really strong for us through 3 weeks of play, even in our losses, has been Chi-Yu. So we actually dropped the Ogre Pond, I think I said Cornerstone earlier, but we dropped the Ogre Pond, the Teal Mask, the general form, who was our Terra Captain, Terra Grass, and instead we made Chi-Yu our new badass Terra Captain with the Terra Fire. So this thing, who has already been claiming KOs, you know, I'm thinking back on it in the first 3 weeks, and there's been multiple times where Chi-Yu just barely missed out on damage of cleaning up a KO, and if it would have cleaned up that KO, maybe we win the game. You know, last week versus Ellie, if we were able to take out that Carbink, maybe the Chi-Yu is able to clean up the Qianpao in the end. Week number 2, if we are able to clean up the kill on the Diancie, maybe we are able to clean up the game against the Alomomola. And so you can kind of see where I'm going for this. And obviously with the Terra Fire, it just gives us that little bit of extra juice that we need. Along with that, dropping the Ogre Pond, that gives us a lot of free transaction points basically for our roster. So getting that out of the way, we decided to make a couple of other small changes. We dropped the Rotom Fan, hadn't brought it yet, and we also dropped the Registeel that came last week. But what this does is it affords us to add a couple of really strong mons to our roster. First of all, we are adding Walking Wake, which I think honestly is a really strong Pokemon. 109 base speed, really strong special attack stat, has that photosynthesis ability so we can use booster energy sets if we want. With the water and dragon typing, it also helps us out a lot because our team in general was weak to water type damage. And the other thing to help out against water type Pokemon and basically allow it so that our team doesn't take as much damage is to add Sun to the team. So we added Torkoal as well. This gives us another hazard setter with Stealth Rocks. It gives us a rapid spinner, and I really think the Sun mode for our team can really help basically push Chi-Yu to the next level. So my thought process behind this is 3 weeks into the season, looking at my roster and looking at some of the other teams in here, I don't know that my team is as strong as some of the other rosters, and I decided, you know what, the one mon that has been performing well is Chi-Yu. Let's put all our chips on that fish. Let's just see if we can get this Chi-Yu to the moon, you know, see if we can make it as strong as possible. It was already doing a ton of damage, but if I give it Terra Fire and put it in the sun, this thing really doesn't have much. There's not much that can just live a Terra Fire Chi-Yu in the sun. So ultimately, those are some of the changes we made. We've still got the rest of the lineup here, and I'm excited to see how it can go throughout the season. So our 2 Terra Caps, Chi-Yu and Meloetta, that's very likely what it's going to be throughout. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Taking a look at week 4 though, and seeing how we can pick up a win, they've got a very scary team on the other side. Do not let that 0-3 record fool you, especially because Mmuffinz is a very good player. First of all, 200 base speed. That is not a misprint. That is Regieleki, the fastest Pokemon in the entire game amongst any generation. This thing really doesn't learn much for coverage. It basically has electric and normal type moves, which means our Landorus Therian is probably going to be a must for this week. Basically, what Regieleki does in Draft League is you ban it from being able to be a Terra captain, because if it can Terra, it's completely broken. But if it can't Terra, it's just okay. It basically gets really, really powerful volt switches and discharges. It can Thunderwave stuff. It can set up screens. It can rapid spin, and it can explode. So the thing is, the only electric resistance I have on my team is the Landorus, so we are definitely bringing it this week. Spoiler alert, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Have the Cyclizar as well. 121 base speed is really nice threshold there. With the Regenerator, Rapid Spin, Knockoff, General Utility, it is a very strong Pokemon. But the third Pokemon here on the list is their first overall pick, and not only their first overall pick, but the first overall pick of the entire draft. 110 base speed, Lugia. Holy cow. This mon is insane. Psychic, Flying, Typing, its HP, Physical Defense, and Special Defense are all through the roof. I cannot overstate how tanky this Pokemon is. Like, it just shrugs off hits. Whether they're super effective or not, this thing is so bulky. It is probably the tankiest Pokemon in the game, or at least it feels like that to me, because not only are his HP, defense, and special defense like well over 100, it also gets the multi-scale ability, which means if it has its full health bar, if it's already at 100% when it takes an attack, it will basically take half damage from any hit. Paired along with the fact that it can set up for Calm Mind, go for a special defense and special attack boost, and also can recover itself, this thing can be an absolute monster, and honestly, there are very few Pokemon on my team who can get through it. They also have the Keldeo on the other side with 108 base speed. This thing is probably threat number 1 against my team. Honestly, I don't have a lot of Pokemon on my team that can switch into this thing. With water and fighting coverage, the problem with Keldeo is that it's a special attacker, but it gets the move Secret Sword, which means Secret Sword uses your special attack stat, but goes against your physical defense stat. So I can't build a Pokemon that resists water and fighting, and has an insane special defense stat and an insane physical defense stat. I can build mons that can cover, one of those things, one of the two, but not both at the same time. Terra Moltres is a very interesting Pokemon, has a few different Terra types here, can be bulky or offensive, really up to you. Has the Flame Body ability, which is just really nice. Also U-Turn and Will-O-Wisp, which is really nice utility. Pecharunt has an insane 160 base physical defense stat. With the Ghost Poison typing and the Toxic Puppeteer ability, this thing is just an absolute problem. It is one of the reasons that you pretty much have to run Covert Cloak against Mmuffinz team, because if it poisons you off of its Malignant Chain move, you are just down for the count. Baxcalibur is always in a threat with Dragon Dance and basically loaded dice sets, especially Terra Thwackey. I don't expect it to come this week. It is possible, but we'll see. The Florges, 75 base speed, good special attack stat, and also massive special defense stat. Ting Lu. Guys, if you haven't seen my other league, my SPDA league, go watch it. You'll see what just a monster Ting Lu is. Ting Lu is one of the main reasons that I'm even, just still alive in that league. So, Fortress with 40 base speed, good hazard removal, good hazard setup, and the Garganackle is the last mon on the team, and this is a Terra Garganackle. This thing is an absolute monster, and one thing you are going to see on Mmuffinz team is just that, holy good god, their team is so tanky. It is unbelievable. Lugia, Ting Lu, Pecharunt, Florges, like, just absolute walls on the other team. Stall is not a common theme amongst Draft League around Generation 9 because just the offense is so high. But I don't know how you get through all of these defensive just walls all at the same time. I think there's only a couple mons on my team that can reliably do damage to the majority of the team on the other side. And so for the most part, you're going to see on my roster here, we are building around those two Pokemon. And so the first one that I'm going to talk about that can actually put in a lot of progress, I think, against Mmuffinz team, should be no surprise. It is our brand new Terra Captain, the Terrafire Chi-Yu. It's Ifrit. And we are rocking 3 fire moves this week because honestly, against their team, there's really only 2 moves that we need to click. I could bring in Psychic for the Keldeo, but we are locking in with the Choice Scarf item just like the last 3 weeks. I know it's a bit boring because I keep running the same item, but it's just so strong on this Chi-Yu, and this week especially, I kind of think I have to run Choice Scarf because if I get outsped by Keldeo, basically any single Pokemon that I ever kill, Keldeo just comes in next and revenges me. And I don't have good switch-ins for Keldeo, so I don't think there's a single item that I can really run on this Chi-Yu. I would have had to run Flame Charge if I wasn't going to run Choice Scarf, and I really didn't want to do that this week. So Choice Scarf it is with 252 special attack, 176 speed, timid nature, some HP investment. Overheat and Fire Blast are basically just harder hitting fire moves. They can miss. Overheat also has the downside of lowering my special attack stat, but it's just when I'm in weird situations where I need just that extra bit of juice to pick up a KO, I will click one of those. Otherwise, I'm just going to basically click Flamethrower almost the entire game. Dark Pulse is a possibility depending on what mons I'm facing off against. Maybe Dark Pulse is a better click, especially, you know, if I don't have Sun going or something like that, which, spoiler alert, as to a mon that might be coming later. But ultimately, Chi-Yu is meant to break the team. Chi-Yu is hopefully not going to be my cleaner. That's going to be the next mon that I show, but Chi-Yu is meant to basically break down the mons that are a problem for my second Pokemon. And that second Pokemon is Behemoth, our Iron Boulder. This week, actually, I think is a really great week for Iron Boulder. Offensively, it looks very good into their team. Like I said, there are very few mons on my team that can reliably break through a good chunk of the other roster. So these two Pokemon, these are my win conditions. If these two go down, I lose. Like, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I will not have enough tools to get through the defensive core on the other side if these two go down. So these two are basically the two mons that are probably going to be claiming the kills this week, and they are my win conditions. Mighty Cleave, Psycho Cut, Close Combat, and Swords Dance. Those are the moves that cover almost the entire roster. Some problem childs for the Iron Boulder. Garganacl can take damage very well from this thing, especially if it is Terra Water. The Ting Lu can be very scary as well. Close Combat after a +2 does not OHKO. It does a good chunk to it, but I need a good amount of chip to that Ting Lu first, as it can just return kill me with an Earthquake. So getting the Ting Lu chip down is pretty valuable. And even the Petrunt, we do have Psycho Cut, can do a lot of damage to it, but has base 160 defense. So there's a few different Pokemon on the other side here that we're really trying to chip down if we possibly can. Fortunately, with the Lugia on the other side, just being one of the tankiest mons in the game, we do have two Pokemon here that can hit it either super effectively or just with really high amounts of damage. Hopefully be able to two-hit KO that thing. If I get a Swords Dance up with Behemoth in the right spot, it could go for game, and that is kind of my hope. So my general plan this week is to have Chi-Yu break things down, especially the things like the Ting Lu, because I expect Ting Lu to basically be one of the switch-ins for Chi-Yu, but it's also one of the answers to Boulder, so it can't really answer both. If Chi-Yu is able to chip Ting Lu down, man, say that 10 times fast, then Iron Boulder hopefully should be able to just go crazy. And now with the enablers for our team this week, we've got Tonberry the Torkoal, new to the team, hoping to put in some work this week. Honestly, I don't think this thing is going to get a ton done when it's actually like on the field. We're running Overheat, Will-O-Wisp, Yawn, and Rapid Spin, but we are running the eject button item. And my thought process behind this is just that Sun this week has to come up for two different reasons. One, it gives Chi-Yu basically certain damage thresholds to be able to pick up OHKOs or two-hit KOs on specific Pokemon, especially like the Lugia here. And with the eject button item, my hope is that Torkoal can come in, take a hit from something, and will immediately be punted out so that I can get in the Chi-Yu to be able to start do more damage. I have max HP and special defense on this thing so that if Keldeo is in, it's not that I want Torkoal necessarily to switch into that thing, but if it has to, it can at least live a hit from a Choice Specs Keldeo because the Sun will mitigate the damage. And that's kind of the other part here, is that not only does it increase Chi-Yu's damage, but it also mitigates how much Keldeo is going to be doing. I cannot say enough how much of a threat that Keldeo is to my team. It's actually insane how hard that thing goes into my roster. The second enabler we're going with this week, it feels weird to say that this guy is an enabler because I think it's capable of so much more, but honestly, the first 4 weeks, this thing just hasn't had great matchups. We've gone into a Terraflying Thundurus, we've gone into against a Regenerator Tornadus Therian. This week, we're going against a freaking Lugia. Like, Lugia is probably the #1 Pokemon to just hard wall a Zamazenta. So what it's going to do this week is an awesome utility role, and I honestly expect it to do it well. We're running the Light Clay item, and we're running dual screens with Reflect and Light Screen. This thing is going to outspeed everything on the other team except for Regieleki. It's got Body Press to deal damage to the majority of the roster, and anything else that it can't hit, if it tries to set up on me, I'm just going to click Roar and punt it back out. We've got max HP, 68 defense, 68 special defense, and 120 speed. So honestly, this thing can Body Press actually goes decently well into the team for the most part. But again, the things it can't hit, such as the Lugia or the Petrunt, something like that, will just roar it out. But ultimately hoping that 8 turns of screens, especially if they don't bring screen removal, will be enough that we can go in to our Iron Boulder at some point, click Swords Dance, and hopefully go for game. The next Pokemon here, I kind of spoiled this early on in the video, but this is an absolute must bring this week. I am bringing Landorus Therian. This thing actually, I believe, can put in a ton of work this week, and I don't mean offensively, I mean as a utility mon. So first of all, it's a must because if they bring Regieleki and I don't bring Landorus, I probably just lose. That thing could literally just run Choice Specs and click Volt Switch into my entire team, and everybody's just going to get like 2-hit KO'd from that. So that would be a massive problem. I have to bring Landorus Therian because every single time Regieleki is on the field, I will switch this thing in. It can also be a pretty nice response to a number of other Pokemon. It outspeeds the Petulant naturally. It outspeeds the Moltres. It outspeeds the Ting-Lu, Fortress, Garganacl. The common thing amongst all of those Pokemon is that they don't want to be taunted. They want to go for setup moves. They want to go for hazard setup, things like that. And if I click taunt with my Landorus Therian, it stops them from being able to do the majority of what they want to go for. And there is a chance that we will actually outspeed the Lugia on the other team too. And if we do, that is also massive to stop it from going for recovers or calm minds. The reason I say that is because most Lugias run max HP special defense, or basically max HP and mixed defenses, because you just want that thing to be as tanky as all hell so that you can just keep recovering over and over. So if that's the case, we will outspeed, as we are a max speed timid nature. And now this looks a little weird because we are running U-turn and we're running timid on Landorus. This thing has a massive like 140 base attack stat. So normally I would run this Jolly and with Earthquake. However, the Pokemon that I actually do want to click Earth Power into, some of those Pokemon such as the Petulant on the other side, Fortress, or the Garganacl, stuff like that, Earth Power actually is going to do a lot more damage than Earthquake will, because a lot of those Pokemon just have insane high physical defenses, but not special defenses. Petulant and Fortress especially. Earth Power will do way more damage than the Earthquake would. We're also running Stealth Rock this week because in certain situations, like I said, against the Regieleki or something else that we've taunted, we will probably buy ourselves a free turn where they're going to switch out into something else. If I can get Stealth Rocks up, that is massive, because if Lugia especially is not heavy duty boots, Stealth Rock is an absolute game changer, because that means that multi-scale will not just be able to be a guarantee all the time, right? Like Stealth Rock is pretty much an absolute must against the roster, especially, you know, stuff like Excalibur. Moltres really doesn't want to take that chip. Last but not least, though, is the other addition to our team from this week. It's our Bahamut. It's Walking Wake, and we are running just Dragon and Water coverage this week. Draco Meteor, Hydro Steam, Dragon Tail, and Flip Turn. We're running the Life Orb item with 192 speed and 252 special attack. Now, this EV investment is a little weird. I'm not running it very fast. There is a possibility that the Keldeo will outspeed us, but I think there's a chance that it doesn't outspeed us, to be frank, for the simple fact that I think they're probably going to speed creep the Chi-Yu, and if they do, we will outspeed that. The other part of the reason for me being a little greedy on my EVs here is not greedy, it's to make sure I do more damage. And what I'm talking about here is that with the photosynthesis ability, if you have booster energy, it boosts your highest stat. The thing about that is it also just works if you're just in the sun. So if I set up sun with my Torkoal, we will get the increased special attack boost instead of the speed boost, which I think is actually more valuable in Mmuffinz team. Their team is just full of walls, but not necessarily super fast Pokemon. So being able to do just more damage instead of being faster, I think is more valuable. The one thing I did not talk about Walking Wake yet, being a new addition to the team here, even though it is the water type Pokemon, in the sun, its signature move Hydro Steam actually does more damage in the sun rather than less compared to normal water moves. So it's kind of the only water type Pokemon that wants to be in the sun, which is a really, really nice addition to our team. So we are running Flip Turn here ultimately because my hope is that this thing can somewhat, and I say somewhat because it does not do it reliably, check the Keldeo. If it goes for a Surf or something, we will take it insanely well. If it goes for Secret Sword, we will not take it so well. But regardless, we're hoping to switch in on Keldeo, and then basically we're probably just going to click Flip Turn and get Chunk on something, because they will not want to stay in with Keldeo, because we do threaten an Oko with the Draco Meteor. Honestly, this thing is decent into some of the mons on the other team, but like things like Lugia just eat hits from this thing for days. So really the Flip Turn I think is going to get a lot of value for us here, just getting us momentum into the Pokemon that we need to switch into. And I also think that Dragon Tail is a must this week. Very similar to Roar, if we hit something with Dragon Tail, it will do a chunk of damage, damage, and then it will make it switch out. So anything that is trying to go for setup against the Walking Wake, especially like the Lugia who wants to go for a Calm Mind, we will Dragon Tail it out and it will not be able to do what it wants to do. So ultimately, guys, this is the roster that we're bringing for week 4. It's an interesting one, as these last 4 Pokemon here, I don't expect to do a whole lot of damage. They are basically just here to facilitate for the first 2 Pokemon. If one of these Pokemon go down right away in the front here, I'm probably going to lose. But if I have one of them alive, you know, I still have a chance. That's basically how this game plan works. If they both die, the game is very likely over. But I think these 2 Pokemon are set up where they actually can put in the work and potentially get us our first win this season. I am hoping. One more thing that I did not mention, we're running the Covert Cloak item on the Landorus Therian, and this is for 2 different reasons. Covert Cloak makes it so that the secondary effect of a move does not actually work. Against the Pecharunt with the Malignant Chain move, what it does is it gives it a 50% chance to poison the other Pokemon, so that 50% chance just goes away. The thing about that is with Pecharunt, if it poisons you, it also confuses you because of its stupid ass ability. The other thing is with the Garganacl, if it goes for the move Salt Cure does a tiny bit of damage, but what it does is it salts you, and basically you take a ton of damage like over time every turn, which is really, really annoying. So that item is basically to make sure that we don't take that damage over time, and this thing can be a reliable switch into both Pecharunt and the Garganacl. Anyway, thanks for letting me go back to that. This is the roster for week 4. I think we finally get in the win column. I'm hoping to God here. It's going to be a fun match versus Mmuffinz. It's going to be a close one, I think. We'll see how it goes, but wish me luck. Best luck to Mmuffinz as well. Let's hop into the match. All right, got my sets all loaded in the calc here. We're going up against Mmuffinz week number 4. We're both 0-3. Don't love that. But yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Looking at his team, he's got Lugia, not surprised, Florges, Garganacl, Moltres. There's no Pecharunt, which I love, actually. That's fantastic. I don't think he has any hazard removal, actually. I kind of wish I brought T-Spikes. That would have been really good here. I do have Stealth Rock, though, so I'm going to try and make sure I get some Stealth Rocks up this game. There's no Ting Lu. Oh my god, there's no Ting Lu. AV Terrawater Garganacl? What else is your Chi-Yu answer in the sun? This is going to be interesting. Best of luck to Mmuffinz. Hopefully this is a good game. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, should be interesting. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel also. Puts out good content, so that's a cool trainer card. All right. We're going to lead the Lando. They're going to lead out Kenshin, which is Keldeo, and this was kind of my worst case scenario, honestly. I kind of figured this may happen. It's a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully they're not like a Calm Mindset or something like that. I'm assuming they're probably either like Scarf or Specs. I don't want to throw away Lando. They don't have Regieleki, so it's not like completely necessary, but this is a really nice answer into some of the stuff that Garganacl wants to do. Do I just go into Torkoal right away and catch an eject button and start blowing stuff up with the sun? I don't know about that because Keldeo's not chipped at all. Part of me thinks he's just going to click Flip Turn, but I don't know. This is not the ideal start. This is not how I wanted to start the game, but that's okay. I'm going to go into Walking Wake here. Hopefully he's not Specs. We'll see. We're going to go into Bahamut. Let's see what they are. Depending on their EV spreads and stuff like that, I think we should outspeed, but don't know for sure. They also don't know that we're Scarfed. They just go for Surf, so this is great. So if they are locked in, obviously this is doing a whole lot of nothing. At this point, I think I just want to Flip Turn and gain some momentum here and get into something else, because I don't think they stay in here, because I could just Draco. I'm just going to Flip Turn. And then we'll also be able to see if we outspeed or not. We'll see. Yeah, they're going to withdraw, so we'll get some free momentum here, so that's really nice. Is it the Florges? It is Urza, whoever that is. It is the Florges. So expecting the Draco Meteor, we're just going to get a Flip Turn off. Does not a tiny amount of damage. They are going to see that we're Life Orb, so unfortunately we do reveal item, but we do get a little bit of chip on Florges, which is really nice. Here, I think I could just go Torkoal. I could also just go Lando to get rocks up. But I think Lando is a good switch into, I guess actually just kind of mostly just Garganacl and Moltres, to be honest. I think I'm just going to go Torkoal. I'm going to go Torkoal here. I'll get the sun up. I don't think Florges can really pressure us that hard. So yeah, we're going to get the momentum here. We'll get sun up. And we'll just see how it goes. From here, I think he's going to switch. I kind of want to just yawn. I could just pop overheat too, but who does he go in on this? Probably Moltres? Does he go Moltres here? Part of me just wants to rip off a yawn here, especially because if they go for Wish, yeah, I'm going to do that. Let's see if they swap or not. Yep, so he's going to switch out. So something is going to catch a yawn, which will be nice. And it is going just right back into the Keldeo. So here, I think... All right, guys, so we actually just disconnected. We are reconnecting now. So I'm at the point where I'm clicking yawn on my Torkoal. He is going to switch in the Keldeo, and then basically I have a decision to make. So the call really here is like, what do I want to go into? I think there's a good chance they click Secret Sword here. With the sun being up, Surf's not going to do a whole lot. So I think they probably kind of make that read, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. So the call is like, do I go Bahamut or do I go Fenrir? And I think we go Fenrir this time. So they're going to swap out. Makes sense to me. And what is it going to be? Miyuki. That is something new. That is the Excalibur. This is fantastic for me. This is actually really good, I think, because we just go right into Zamazenta. So this was actually not even a hard read. I thought the read was that they were going to go for Secret Sword. But this is really nice for me. So Body Press, it obviously does basically nothing to Lugia. Here, I think I just want to get screens up. I'm just going to click Reflect. I was going to say, I don't think you sit in and Dragon Dance on a +1 Zamazenta. I don't think that happens. So I believe that's the Moltres from what I've watched of their battles. Yep, it is the Moltres. So we get the Reflect up. This is probably a special attacking Moltres. Also could just go for Will-O-Wisp. I actually don't care too much if I get burned here. How many turns of Sun do I have left? I have 1. So, yeah, do I care if I get burned here? I don't really think so. But also, Landorus is a super free switch. But then again, like, I could get 8 turns of Light Screen. I think that's my play. I'm just going to do that. If it goes for Wisp, goes for Wisp. We'll see. But I want a ton of turns of screens here. I want to be able to go into something and set up nicely. Is going to be the Wisp. Does land it. So obviously, we're not going to do much of any damage in this game with the Body Press. But that's perfectly fine, honestly. With the Light Screen up, I think I can go back into Torkoal if I want. They could read that, and that's okay, honestly. If I do that, they probably go into Keldeo, right? How do I want to play that? So I have 7 turns of Light Screen, 6 turns of Reflect. I'm going to Body Press just once. I think there's a chance they go into Keldeo here. If they stay in, then that's, that's good on them, obviously. But I just kind of want to see. Because I think they could read me going into Torkoal with the screens up and getting Sun back up. We'll see. If it switches into Lugia or Florges... Actually, Florges is really weak to physical attacks, so it'll still take a little bit, but nothing crazy. As long as Garganeckle's not, like, weakness policy, it doesn't really matter. But if it is, we could always just roar it out. I really wish I had Stealth Rocks up right now. If I had them up already, I could just, like, roar things out with Zama. But I can always do that later, too, which is nice. I really hope we didn't disconnect again. It is taking a long time. Please tell me we didn't DC again. It's communicating for a really long time. I think it DC'd again. Alright, guys, we just remade this again. We've disconnected twice. I'm going to do the same play I just did before. I'm going to click Body Press because I think there's a decent chance he thinks that I'm going into Torkoal and swapping out. So I'm just going to Body Press. He is going to swap out. I'm going to predict that this is the Keldeo thinking I'm going Torkoal, and it is. So I get this read right. So I do get a little bit of chip. It's not much, but I get something, which is really, really nice. Yeah, pretty happy with that, honestly. I don't want this Keldeo alive. I don't like this Keldeo at all. So now from here, let me think. How do I want to do this? I'm going to Body Press one more time. Body Press just one more time here. All right, so he withdraws. So he reads that I'm going to Body Press again, which is fine. Goes right back into the Moltres. And now here, this time, I think I am going to go Torkoal. Obviously, I don't have as much screens as I had before. He could click U-turn, to be fair, but if he does, that just procs my eject button, and then we're sitting really pretty. So honestly, I'd be perfectly fine if he gets an eject button off. Or if he goes for a U-turn. Because he actually wouldn't switch out. We're going to go Tomberry, get the sun up. And what does he go for? If he goes for Wisp, that's great. If he goes for something else, Flamethrower is lovely. We take that decently well. Eject button's going to pop off. Torkoal's going to get the hell on out of here. And now here, Keldeo, Excalibur, Lugia, Florges, Garganacl, Moltres. I think I want to go Wake here. Also could just go Chi-Yu though. Let me do some calc real quick. Chi-Yu in the sun, Terra Fire, Fire Blast might knock this thing out actually. So I'm going to go Chi-Yu. With a light screen, we should live a Scorching Sands if it decides to go for that. Oh yeah, we should live that pretty comfortably, I think, actually. So I'm going to Terra Fire and I'm going to Fire Blast and just hit something really, really hard. We should outspeed any version of Moltres, even if it is Scarfed, I believe. I believe I'm prepped to outspeed, like, base 90 Scarf. But yeah. Problem is, we don't know what item Keldeo is. So if Keldeo swaps in and lives, then I'll just have to swap out and see what he wants to go for from there. Dear God, please tell me we didn't disconnect again. It is communicating again. What is... Dude, what is happening? Okay. All right. I think we're okay. And he stayed in, actually, so that means... I don't know. I don't know what he went for, actually. I'm curious. So we get the Terra off. Hopefully we land this. And we're going to see what kind of set this Moltres is. And we are going to Fire Blast. This is going to land. I think this kills. If it doesn't, it's going to be real close. Okay, actually, it's a good chunk, but it does not kill. Ancient Power. That's pretty cool tech. Not going to lie. All right. The Ancient Power lands. I don't know what this is. What's lagging right now? Are we communicating again? I'm just frozen. What is happening? Oh my fuck, dude. All right, guys, we are back now. We DC'd 4 times, and now we are playing on Showdown. So that is what's going on now. And now from here, we're going to play the game and just kind of see how it goes. It's going to be interesting. Do I click Fire Blast again? I think I do. I think I want to do that. I'm just going to re-click it. I thought about going into Landorus here just to get up rocks, but honestly, like, this Moltres can't really touch me behind screens, and nothing wants to take a Fire Blast. So yeah, just going to rip it. Fire Blast is going to kill again. He's going to see that we're Scarf now, because I don't think I would have a reason to click Fire Blast again if we weren't choice locked. So he should know that now, I would think, or at least would probably make that assumption. But yeah. All right. I got the window resized now so you guys can hopefully actually see. But yeah, we're going to see how this goes. This is going to be a little scuffed, but it is what it is. Garganacl, I could see him being like AV or something like that. Honestly, right here, I just go into Odin every time. I don't really have a reason not to. Could go for a Terra Water, Terra Blast, potentially. Just goes for Assault Cure, though, and I am perfectly fine with that. I'm going to Taunt, just so it doesn't try and set up on me. I believe Taunt works on this thing. I believe. Yep, it does. It just can't be status like Toxic and stuff. And it did go for the Iron Defense, so this is perfect. So right now, I'm going to click Stealth Rock, get some of my hazards up. Finally do get my rocks up, which is really nice. I imagine this thing might even switch out. It's got Salt Cure, Iron Defense, which means it's got to probably have Body Press, I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's probably Salt Cure, Iron Defense, Body Press, Recover. So if that's the case, this thing really can't touch me at all. So we're going to see the Lugia. We're going to get our rocks up. And now here, I kind of want to Taunt again, because I'm a little worried about what this thing could go for. I'm actually faster than it, and it just goes for Aeroblast, which is perfectly fine. U-turn is a little risky because I could proc a weakness policy, but I think I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm going to U-turn. I don't think he would be. So from here, probably goes for another Aeroblast. Probably, right? I may just... I think I want to go... I think I'm going to go Tonberry again. And just get my sun back up. I would see what item he is. He could be Leftovers. Also could be Heavy Duty Boots. The fact that he's not Leftovers, it kind of makes me think he probably is Heavy Duty Boots. I think I'm going to go Bahamut. We should outspeed, since we outspit on the Landorus. We take a decent chunk. I think I just want to Hydro Steam here. and just get a ton of damage off. Let's see what wants to switch into this. If it's Florges, it's going to take a lot. We broke its multi-skill, so it should take a decent chunk. Yes, it does. And just goes for a cover. I don't want this thing to get its multi-skill back up. Do I Hydro Steam again? This is tough. Shoot. I mean, wasting its recover turns isn't bad, but I've only got 2 more turns of Sun left. I'm going to flip turn. I think he probably clicked recover again, is my guess. Not having a slower momentum than this is actually kind of troublesome. I'm going to go into Zama here. I think he probably clicked recover. Yeah, he did. So here, I'm sure he probably just clicks Aeroblast. I'm going to light screen and just get my screens back up. Yeah, I'm not going to let him do that. I'm going to click Roar now. He's going to go for another Calm Mind. We're going to get him out with this Roar. So the Florges is going to come in here. I think I want to... I think I want to get my Reflect up too. I'd rather just have both screens up. Draining Kiss is going to happen, but that's fine. And here, could I set up with Behemoth right here? Potentially. What kind of damage am I taking? I'm not taking like anything on Iron Boulder here. Maybe I just go in and set up a Swords Dance. Because I think I... Is there any reason I can't right now? I don't think so. I think I can cut through basically everybody, right? With my screens up? This might be the opportunity. I'm just going to go Behemoth here. This might be a waste. Hopefully not. Draining Kiss is going to do nothing. And we're just going to go for an SD here. Chilling Water. It's going to subtract by 1, but I can Swords Dance again. I can get to +3. I mean, he doesn't really have priority. What stops this? I think Behemoth's in a really good spot right now. He can't really touch me. If he Chilling Waters again, we'll still be +2, and we can just kill it on this turn. He's going to Energy Ball. Does a little bit. Now we Mighty Cleave, right? Yeah, we just Mighty Cleave. Hopefully no Rocky Helmet Mons. Mighty Cleave's definitely going to pick up a kill here. If Lugia is Boots, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think anything... Maybe Garganackle? Can Garganackle take a hit? I'm at +3, not +2. I don't think it can take a hit. I mean, I Mighty Cleave. We have Reflect up. Ice Shard does 14%. My dog go crazy. Iron Boulder takes out Bax. Does the Lugia have multi-skill? I don't remember if it got back up to 100. I don't think it did, right? I think it's at 96. And if that's the case, we definitely kill. So the only question is, do we kill a Garganackle? And I kind of feel like we do. Nothing super effective, so Mighty Cleave is the best play always. We barely don't kill. Body Press does 15, though. And now we just Mighty Cleave again. Another kill on the board. And now I click Psycho Cut. Does have the Vacuum Wave, so Keldeo is going to take out Boulder. But honestly, Iron Boulder put in a ton of work there. And now here, does a Vacuum Wave take us out? I don't know. I think I need to get... I think I just go and set up screens again, right? I think so. Because I don't think a Vacuum Wave takes us out. I think we just go for a light screen. Goes for Surf. We actually take that damage really well. And now I'm just going to click Roar, I think. Yep, because he does go for setup. I was going to say, I think the only way I can lose is because of that. It's not Heavy Duty Boots, which is fantastic. I'm going to click Roar again. He's going to recover. There's going to be more Rocks Chip here. We're going to die to this burn here shortly. I'm going to Roar because I just don't want him Calm Minding one more time. I can't afford a Calm Mind one more time. So Vacuum Wave's going to hit. So Keldeo is going to take out our Zamazenta. And now here, how much does Chiyu do in the sun with Flamethrower? It's at 61% right now. Oh yeah, we should kill in the sun with Terrafire Flamethrower here. So here, I think I just go Tonberry. And get the sun up. I'm going to click Yawn in case it tries to set up. It's got Rain Dance. That's actually so sick, dude. That's actually so sick. I'll click Will-O-Wisp in case he goes for the switch here. Wow, that's a great play. Could that win him the game? It might. That's a fantastic play. If he falls asleep, I think we win, right? Lugia's going to take Stealth Rock Chip. We're going to go into the Walking Wake. And now here, I think we just Hydro Steam. How much does Hydro Steam do in the water? It should still do a ton, right? I think it still gets the water, the rain boost. It's like actually not that much. Just like 42 to... Oh, wait, that's to Keldeo. Hold on. Might do even less. We'll see. We do not do a lot of damage to this thing. Oh my god. I'm going to click Dragon Tail, I think. I think I need to just keep chipping things down here. He's going to recover, right? He has no reason not to recover because I have Life Orb. I think I need to be able to win with, like, choice... Oh, my God. This is brutal. He like, might have this, actually. 38%. He does click Recover. How many does he have left? He has 4. Man, this is going to be really tough, honestly. Clicks Calm Mind, and now we click Dragon Tail. Because he's going to recover. Yep, we're going to click Dragon Tail. Get it on out of here. We're going to drop, unfortunately. The Keldeo is going to come in. Oh, this is scary, man. Getting through this Lugia is really hard. This is why I really needed Iron Boulder to sweep. But I didn't get it, unfortunately. What does Vacuum Wave do to us? How much damage does it do? It's not Specs. We know that. So, 54%. Dark Pulse. I think we almost just have to hit... Man, that's brutal, dude. Holy cow. I think we have to hit an Overheat. Or a Fire Blast, at least. He doesn't know if we have Psychic, to be fair. If he's literally 0 bulk, Fire Blast can kill. Fire Blast is actually less accurate than Overheat, though. I'm going to click Overheat. I think I have to. We do hit. We kill the Keldeo, which is massive. That is absolutely massive. And now we go here. We go right into Landorus to taunt, I believe. Yeah, that's what we do. Goes for Calm Mind. Oh, man. That's tough. We're going to taunt so it can't do it again. Lugia is going to be really scary, though, here. We're going to U-turn into Tonberry. Aeroblast does a ton. I'm going to click Yawn. Earth Power will take us out. Taunt is now gone again. I have to taunt it. I can't let it set up. Alright, Aeroblast takes us out. We actually kind of needed it to take us out because we actually don't have a way to hurt it. And now here, at +1, I don't know. I don't know. In the sun, +1 Spadef. I think we could potentially take an Aeroblast. Could we take an Earth Power? All right, so if this is max bulk, which I think it probably is, I think we Flamethrower twice for the win. If he's got a ton of special attack investment, Earth Power could kill, but I don't think he is. I'm pretty sure he's bulky. And Flamethrower actually does more in the sun than Dark Pulse does. Although, actually, Dark Pulse has a chance to flinch. I'm clicking Flamethrower. Please don't kill. Oh, we live. We live. This should be the game. Oh my god. Holy shit, what a game. Oh my gosh. Dude, GG to Mmuffinz. Amazing game, like, played by him. Getting through the Lugia was, like, so fucking hard, dude. Oh my god. I thought for a moment my Iron Boulder might sweep, but the Vacuum Wave on Keldeo was so massive. This team that he has is actually, like, he hasn't won this season, but this team is actually terrifying. Like, breaking through it is so hard. Every single Pokemon on it is just a freaking wall, dude. It's crazy. I'm so glad that we could finally get on the board with a win. That was so stressful having to remake the game like 4 different times. Glad we could finally finish the game on Showdown, but man,
GG's to Muffin. He's really, really awesome. Please go check out his YouTube channel, guys. I'm so glad that we could finally get a win. That was so scary at the end. Sorry, I had to take a minute to calc there because I was not 100%. But holy cow, finally, we got on the board. Brought the Sun team, brought a couple of new mons. I feel like it paid off. That was really, really exciting. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.